I started using AI tools like Jasper AI back in 2021 and then was an early adopter of ChatGPT back in 2022. Fast forward to today, and by using AI technology, it's already added an additional $1 million of revenue to all of my businesses. In this video, I'm going to share 7 powerful ChatGPT secrets that I've never publicly shared before. These are the exact same strategies that put people in the top 1% of AI users from everyone else who just wants to play around with it. If you stick around for this entire video, you'll know how to be in that top 1%. Here's the crazy part about these secrets. One of these secrets actually added an additional $20,000 per month in revenue to one of my businesses, and another secret saves me more than 20 hours per week. You're going to want to stick around for the entire video to figure out which one of these secrets have had the biggest impact on both my business and my personal productivity, but more importantly, how to actually use it with the step-by-step process I'm going to share today. Before we dig in, if this is your first time seeing me and you want to learn how to make money from anywhere in the world, then hit subscribe. Let's get started. If you want to use ChatGPT like the top 1%, you have to use it every single day. So you got to put it in your visual cues. This is something that I learned from Atomic Habits, and it's completely changed every aspect of my business and my day-to-day productivity. So what you need to do is put ChatGPT in places that you're going to see and use. A few examples of how I use this is I set it as my homepage. Anytime I open a new tab on my browser, it opens ChatGPT as that homepage default. The second way I do this is I actually pin a version of ChatGPT into Chrome, and so that way it's always sticky there and it's easy to get access to whenever I need it. The third and final way is I actually program my iPhone button to open ChatGPT on my phone automatically. There's a few other automations that you can do, but again, you want to keep it simple and keep it visual. Make sure ChatGPT is easy to use and it's going to be used in your daily workflow. Secret number 2 might be obvious, but if you want to be in the top 1% of ChatGPT users, you need to get the Pro version. I know some people can be scared of spending another subscription, but I guarantee it's worth it, and here's why. ChatGPT Pro is going to allow you access to faster and better models. It's more accurate, and it unlocks ChatGPT 5, which has vision, memory, and file upload features. You'll make that $20 back in like literally a day. Think of it this way. If Netflix costs around $20 to escape reality for a few hours, ChatGPT Pro makes you more money in reality every single day. This might seem obvious, but if you want to be serious about ChatGPT, you need to get the paid version. The paid version is only $20 per month, but it unlocks a lot of features that are going to help you stand out and be in that top 1%. Essentially, ChatGPT's paid version is faster, it's more accurate, it allows you access to the newer models, and I guarantee it'll get you your money back in literally like a day. Now, if you're worried about adding another subscription, what I suggest doing is go to your phone, go to your apps, and just cancel Netflix, cancel something else that's actually wasting your time, and replace it with something that's going to save you time or make you more money, and that's where ChatGPT comes in. Now, I'll put an image on the screen here of all the different features compared between the free version and the plus version, which is the $20 per month. Again, it includes some really cool things like image generation. So if you do thumbnails or any image stuff for your business, this can be a really easy way to get that $20 back. For image design, it can cost sometimes even $100 for some of these images. So again, you can really save your money back. Just understand all the features and how to use them. The next secret is to master ChatGPT and understand how it works, how to deliver a good prompt, and how to get good feedback. Most people start off by using something pretty basic like write me a YouTube script, and that's all they give it. And so of course the output is going to be super generic, it's going to be really bland, and it's not going to be a good result because you don't understand how to work with ChatGPT. So here's a few secrets and insights on how to make better outputs. So with that same example, here's a 4-question prompt that I would use. You're an expert in YouTube growth. I'm making a video on a certain topic. What are 3 possible hooks for this idea? What structure would keep viewers watching to the end? What mistakes do most creators make? And how can we make it stand out in 2025? Again, you're going to ask ChatGPT for a bunch of questions and it's going to give you some feedback. Another few pro tips are you can actually ask it for what voice to use, and you can give it some other inputs like an ebook, a screenshot, an actual video to use that you want to try to replicate in your own style. ChatGPT is not only as good as the clarity of your thinking. Now, this is how you go from like a very basic prompt to a better prompt. Prompting is really something you need to spend hours on developing for a certain use case. Think about it like this. You're going to have multiple prompts for everything that you're using in your business. For creating a tweet versus creating a LinkedIn post, those two things are going to have different variables, different inputs, and different outputs because you're speaking to a completely different audience. And so understanding getting a few prompts is going to be something that's going to really level you up into that top 1%. Again, this is something that just takes time. It takes time for you to develop and understand how to get better at this. And one of the fastest ways to get better at this, once you have a really well-defined prompt that works, is to move on to our next secret, which is creating a custom ChatGPT. Basically, a custom GPT is something that has all the settings saved. Think of it like this. You create an awesome prompt, you upload some really good source material, and then you just save that GPT for a certain thing. I have GPTs for each sort of platform that I write social media for. So I'll have a GPT for YouTube, a GPT for Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And basically what I'm doing is I'm feeding it some of my top performing posts. I'm feeding it things like my book that I wanted to use as the voice in writing. And then I'm feeding it other samples that are going to be used to create a better output. The great thing about the GPTs is it saves all of this data, and then it's really easy for me to adjust it over time. And this has been one of the biggest ways that have saved me at least 20 hours per week in all of the content that I'm producing because it saves me so much time. I spend a lot of upfront time building these, and then every week it really pays those dividends. It's essentially like having a team of mini versions of me, each trained for a different part of my business. If you want to create a custom GPT, all you got to do is go to Export GPTs, then click Create. And you can walk through the setup by telling it who it is, what it does, how it should respond, the voice it uses, some samples of outputs that you want it to be like. This one secret has really saved me a lot of time. And again, I highly recommend doing this after you've used ChatGPT for at least a month. Now, creating custom GPTs, learning prompting on your own is a really great way, but this is going to get you a lot of faster results. But this technique is going to get you faster and better results in as little as a day. Now, if you want to be in the top 1%, you got to learn from the other top 1%ers. So what I suggest doing is spending at least an hour using ChatGPT yourself, but spending another hour per day learning from other experts who are 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. You can join a community, you can watch other YouTubers, you can get their prompts, and you can basically borrow the time that they put into using ChatGPT and mastering it over the last 4 to 5 years. The great thing is a lot of these tutorials and videos are fairly free to use and very accessible on YouTube. But if you want to take it a step further, get live trainings, DM access, courses, then you can join my Earn From Anywhere community. We basically teach you how to use AI to get your first $10,000 online, and I'll leave a link below if you're curious in joining. The next secret's a hidden one that I don't think most people know about, even some people in the top 1%. It's to customize your advanced settings in ChatGPT. So let me show you how to access a few settings the pros use. Memory, when it rolls out for you, turn on memory and let ChatGPT remember all the details about your business, tone, and preferences. This saves you a lot of time from re-explaining yourself every single time you create a new prompt. Again, you can turn this off in certain GPTs if you don't want it to use your memory. And then you want to make sure that if you're trying to do something from scratch, where you don't want it to know this stuff, you can turn it off or erase the memory. So understanding this is a really important way to know how ChatGPT works. The cool thing about it is you can actually, after you've used it for 6 months, you can ask it some questions. Hey, what could I do to improve my business? What are some things I might not know about myself? You can ask ChatGPT for some third-party, more unbiased opinions. The second hidden advanced feature is to customize the instruction. In the settings, you can click Customize ChatGPT, tell it who you are, what you do, and how you want responses to sound. For example, I'm a YouTuber focused on AI tutorials, write responses that sound casual but professional, avoid buzzwords, and keep paragraphs short. Again, this could be a really good way to make sure your ChatGPT outputs are a lot better and they're stylized for the person that you are. They're going to be stylized for what the output you're wanting to achieve. The next setting that you should adjust is to set your default ChatGPT mode. There's like 4 or 5 different variations and they all have pros and cons. So what I would do is figure out, hey, ChatGPT, what are these 5 versions of GPT best at? And then what you want to figure out is, okay, I am going to be using it 90% of the time for this. Set that as your default. I have ChatGPT 5 set as my default, and that's typically what most people are going to use. But there's some other versions for like deep research or essays that are going to be a better version to use if you're going to be using it for that more frequently. Now, there's a few other advanced settings, but what I suggest doing is going through, playing around with it, and trying to figure out what is going to give you the best output. Turn things on, turn things off, play around with it, and see how that impacts your outputs and day-to-day use of ChatGPT. This next secret is again one of my favorite time savers, and it's using screenshots to give ChatGPT a visual context of what you're talking about. So for example, if I'm trying to create a new landing page, what I might do is actually go and export the whole page as a PDF. Or what I'll do is I'll just take a screenshot of a portion that I'm trying to build. Say, hey, ChatGPT, here's a landing page that I'm trying to build a similar one, but for this avatar. I give some context, say, hey, this is working really well, but I want to change it up for this avatar, these pain points, and it's going to give me a lot better output because it has that visual context that is uploaded to it. This saves me a ton of time because it gives ChatGPT exactly what I'm looking at. And you can do a few other cool things like upload spreadsheets for data points. If you're trying to create a Excel formula, you can just go ahead and upload the Excel spreadsheet directly. You can also do things like voice recordings. So when I'm on the go, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just talk to ChatGPT for like 4 or 5 minutes, and it'll actually give me some really good outputs. And this goes back to secret number 1. I have that ChatGPT button programmed on my phone, and then I'll just go ahead and when I have a great idea, I'm walking on the beach or doing something, I'll just go ahead and click a voice recording, put it up to ChatGPT, ask it for some feedback, and then I have it saved there forever. Now for secret number 8, which has added an additional $20,000 of MRR to my businesses, is using AI agents. An AI agent is basically an employee that doesn't need to take time off, doesn't go on vacations, and doesn't get sick. Here's how it works. An AI agent is someone who could reply to all your emails using your tone and signature. It could send messages to people on LinkedIn to book them sales calls. It can monitor your leads, summarize deals, give you updates on your CRM, and do a lot of things. So version 1 is just kind of doing internal tasks for you, or version 2 is doing external tasks where it's actually helping you get sales calls, do lead prospecting, and even being as advanced as calling your leads, qualifying them, and then booking a call, all with an AI robot. I essentially have agents running 24/7, and they handle all these crazy tasks for me, but the biggest way I've seen is by getting leads that I just wouldn't have contacted, and it does it in a faster time. For example, maybe it's Sunday, you're on the beach, you're wanting to take some time off, but a good hot lead comes in. ChatGPT notifies that lead, calls them, texts them, and sends them an email trying to make sure that, hey, if you're a good fit for this, let's move you to the next step. So it isolates those hand raisers and gets them to move on to the next step in the funnel and in the business, which has resulted in some really great additional revenue to my business. Now, if you implement all 8 of these secrets, you'll be on your way to being in the top 1%, but you'll only make it to the top 1% if you hit the subscribe button and follow along about the new videos I'm putting out every single week. And again, I'm going to leave another video that was hand selected just for you to watch. Again, thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.